The matchmaking in Deadlock has gone through a lot of different changes. Back in 2024, you would just load up into Deadlock and play a match for the love of the game. Later on, a majority of the community wanted some form of ranked experience, so at designated times, you would queue up and play a ranked match. Then a little bit later, they combined both that selected time slot with the normal matchmaking and just made it all one. And now finally, in 2026, what we were promised 2,000 years ago, we finally got our matchmaking update. My name is Zach Foams, an Eternus ranked player and team analyst for Rose Syndicate, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about these matchmaking changes, so if you like this type of content, definitely stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, ducks of all ages, we finally have the long-awaited matchmaking patch. Now, how they did the matchmaking patch is exactly how I thought they were going to do it. They're splitting both ranked and normal matches into separate categories, so that you're not forced to always be, in quotations, trying for ranked. This allows you to play casually with your friends, learn new heroes, and don't necessarily have to try super hard. As we can see, we have Initiate, Seeker, Acolyte, Sentinel, Mystic, Ritualist, Emissary, Oracle, Phantom, Ascendant, and Eternus. So you can see all the ranks like that. And it says, to be eligible to queue for ranked, you must have at least 60 wins in standard mode to ensure higher quality games. Ranked modes expect that you have a solid understanding of the heroes that you play in it. The mode allows you to pick heroes that you have won at least 15 games with in standard mode, and you must have at least 3 heroes unlocked for ranked to be able to be a valid size roster. So there's a lot to break down about that patch. I do actually want to go ahead and open this up real quick. Then let's go back. So looking at everything, you can see how they do the ranks. At the start of the season, everyone will enter a calibration phase for 8 games, so placement mode. All players will have a soft reset of their prior rank, maintaining some history of your previous performances relative to other players to help you seed you initially into the calibration matches. Players can only exit calibration at a max rank of Oracle 6. You cannot be in a party during calibration matches, so you have to play solo. Ranked mode will currently only allow for solo or duo parties. If you're a duo party, both players must be at most 1 rank away from each other. Mystic and Ritualist, however, Eternus players can only queue with other Eternus players. Our new ranked HUD in the hideout includes all the information about the current and past ranked seasons going forward. So this is pretty cool. I like how they're doing this. As you can see, we can look at ranked and all of this. So you can see you can only have certain matches on certain characters, which is pretty interesting. I like this idea. So it guarantees that you can only play the characters you've been playing on and trying out, so that you're not throwing people's games, which is a good way of doing it. So rank points. When you win or lose a game, you'll see your rank points update with a visible progress bar after each match. Each win-loss will grant you plus or minus 250 points on average, though these numbers could vary slightly depending on the expectations the matchmaker had from that game or while on win streaks. To progress to the next sub-rank, you need to collect 1,000 rank points for each promotion. However, after the final sub-rank before moving to a new rank, Mystic 6 to Ritualist 1, requires 2,000 points. Once you reach Eternus 1, there will be no longer a fixed amount of points needed to progress from one subrank to the other, as the thresholds will be dramatically updated daily to segment the subranks on a percentile basis. So this is pretty cool. Entering a match in hero selection. We think the ability to queue with a specific hero in mind is an important and popular feature with most players. Even having hero selections done in advance of the game formation, we are able to utilize the matchmaker on the back end to mix and match players from the larger queue to meet everyone's preferences, such that players are able to get the hero they want while also allowing us the ability to create a reasonable team composition. So this is good. They want to have a balanced team composition, so you're not forcing all of these characters, all the OP characters, onto one side of the team. However, we also recognize that even long-term matchmaker won't always be the great job, depending on who is in the queue rank at a specific time, especially ranks or regions. Yep. Once you enter a new ranked match, you will see a breakdown of the ranks of all players in the game. You will then enter a pre-game waiting area where you can control your hero. During this time, you can choose to change your given hero to any other hero that hasn't been selected, as long as you have. This is really cool. So you can actually mix and match and change the characters you want to play inside of ranked. This is really cool. You can also use the new pre-game waiting area to adjust your starting aims. You won't be able to zipline swap after this pause be disabled until 2 minutes after the game fully starts, so make sure you do any adjustments. So this allows you to actually min-max your lanes. Think about what winning lanes there are. So they're actually making more in-depth and macro ideas of how to play ranked, which I really like. So this is really good. This is all crucial information that's really important. I like that they separated the modes. The other way I could have seen them doing a ranked mode is fully resetting everybody's rank and splitting it up like this. I don't think there's like any other way you could do this. I like this idea. This is a cool idea. Like I said, it's an alpha game. It's in a beta. So you're going to be mixing, matching, seeing what's going on. But overall, this is really, really solid information. Like I said, like always in my videos, I'll have the link to the patch notes in the description below. But anyways, abandons and penalties. You cannot queue for ranked if you have any active sanctions on your account, low priority, comms bans, okay? If a player abandons a game before 5 minutes, the game will be marked as safe to leave and void for all players except the leaver and their party. The game will count as a loss for the leaver and their party, and the abandoning player will receive leaver points. So the game will count as a loss for yourself and your party. So if you have a teammate and they, one of your friends, and they abandon, well, it's going to be a loss for yourself and the person in your party, which is really nice. So you can't have your friend dodge for you. You're still going to have that loss on record, which is really nice. Leaderboards updates includes a few changes. Okay, rollout. However, we expect the next week or so to be very working, as the ranked matchmaking will start off very thin and most players not having unlocked requirements done yet. This will have a significant effect on queue times and match quality until they stabilize. So you can see everything. We have a nice layout now, which is really cool. If I go to my ranks, I don't have a rank. So that's something. Does it even tell me my ranked? I guess I'm just oh, here we go. Ranked. This is cool. So you can see it's not calibrated right now. And that's about where we're at. Okay, so view leaderboards. So it's going to be like a reset on leaderboards now. We have matches, we have overview. And you can see everything here. Pre-game waiting area. So yeah, I really like this change. I think having a split between ranked and the normal mode is probably the best outcome this game can have. For people that want to play ranked, people that want to have fun, learn characters, and people that want to play Street Pro. There's nothing wrong with, not really try-harding per se. So I think this is probably the best way of doing it, like I said. Besides that, that's really about it in terms of what they've done with this game. They have some new cool graphics of the rank, which I really like. Yeah. I think the big thing, though, is this thing, the hero selection area. I want to talk a little bit more about. So once you enter a new rank, you will get a breakdown of all the ranks. You will enter a pre-game waiting area where you can control your hero. During this time, you can choose to change your given hero to any other hero that hasn't been selected in the game. So everybody's selected. You can go in, change the hero that you're playing. So if you find that you're not in the most favorable matchup, you can actually change your character, which is really nice. So the primary purpose of this is to allow players to quick way to adjust their team's hero compositions to make any improvements they see fit. This is not intended to be a counter picking feature, as much just a quick way to improve your team's general hero composition, while also making it easier for players to have their preferred and most comfortable heroes in rank. So I guess that's one interpretation you can have. They said it's not supposed to be there to be seen as a way to counter pick people, but I'm gonna be honest, they say that, but that's probably gonna be the reality of a lot of people are just gonna use it to counter one another. Is probably the best outcome. Oh, this character is not good into this, so I just pick it. They have a dynamo on the enemy team. Let me pick, Lash or something to pull him out of his ultimate or whatnot. Just an example. But otherwise, I think everything here, like I said, is probably the best outcome that they can have. Don't expect to have perfect games for a while until a week or two later, because everybody is starting back at Obscurus essentially because they did a soft reset. It still should, in theory, still put you into the placement matches, or what they're saying, the calibration matches. Should put you still in the relatively same MR that you were playing in, I would assume, so the matches actually feel decent. But like I said, I think this is probably the best way they could have gone about doing this. And you can see just how they're doing it. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you think about these changes in the comments down below. Like I said, this is probably the best way they could have done and handled, the matchmaking system or the matchmaking, problem in quotations. And I think the only other way was to do a hard reset, but I don't think they would have done a hard reset and draft as well until the game fully comes out. I guess with the pregame area, you have a little bit of a draft, which is cool, but I think this is probably the best outcome the game has right now. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I hope you have a great and safe day, and I'll catch you in the next one.